Alright, I'm not gonna lie. I do not remember exactly how to get out of this neighborhood. I know a general direction and everything. I've been here quite a few times, but I've always relied on the GPS. But when I left the place I was at, I couldn't load the GPS. The further down in this neighborhood you get, the worse reception is. Like, I mean, it's bad. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 0. Like, it's that bad. You can't connect to anything. It's like your phone turns into a paperweight. So I'm headed to. Oh, where am I? I'm headed home, obviously, and I'm kind of certain I know where I'm going, but it kind of all looks the same after a while. Anyway, so right now with the book, I'm kind of just letting it sit. I can now use my time. I mean, I still need to sit down and go over my marketing strategy for once it's released, but there's not really much I can do. Like, it's available for pre-order. I mean, I can run ads on it, but statistically, unless I threw a crap load of money at it, I'm a know nothing, no name author. So because of that, I'm not going to get a lot of strangers pre-ordering. People are more likely to, buy it outright than pre-order it. Have that immediacy. If I had like a backing towards my name, then yeah, I think people would. My kind of plan is to just kind of wait it out. So I am on my way. Well, I guess McDonald's to get a Diet Coke for the missus, but yeah. So unfortunately, I know that when I stream in the car, the audio kind of sucks. It's because of the Bluetooth. When the Bluetooth's connected, it goes off. It will not. It refuses to go off the Bluetooth on my phone. It goes off the Bluetooth on the car, which is why the audio sucks. So sorry for that. But as long as you guys can hear me, then I think we're just fine. So I did some filming at that house while I was working. Got an idea. I've been doing that for a little while now. I got a couple ideas on some videos for you guys, but nothing's crazy. Very simple stuff. Uh, um, Aside from that, I'm just kind of going with it. Ah, very good. Yo, what's up? Yeah, so the book is available on Oh wait, Foibles, have I told you? I don't know. Staying on. Oh, yeah, I literally just explained it. Yeah, it's using the microphone that's built into the car. So there's not really anything I can do about that. Oh, the book's gonna. So wow, okay. You've been out of the loop. I've made multiple videos about this. I've talked about this like extensively. I think I might have brought it up with you at one point, but just to rehash, let's kind of get into it. Hold on. And the clock's changed today too, so I thought I felt a little off today. I saw a Tesla that was speeding past and cut me off on the freeway. got pulled over. Like it's like he was going like 80, 85. Like he was going nuts. And the freeways out here are 65. They let you go up to 70 depending on like the flow of traffic, but you know there wasn't a crazy amount of people the other day on the road. So when that dude was going by like at 80, that cop fucking spun his lights up so damn quick. Yeah, let me get into the whole thing about the book in just a second. Let me kind of collect myself. I wonder if there's an option to turn off the mic. Oh yeah, it's like I've noticed that with like hybrid cars and electric vehicles or even supercars and luxury cars. There are certain classifications of cars that the drivers for I don't know what the reasoning behind it is, but they all drive like assholes. They all drive like they own the road. And it's like a weird mentality. It's like these people in these like Priuses or these Ford Fusion hybrids or the Teslas or you know like out here in Vegas there's a lot of supercars. So like Lamborghini Maseratis, like you know really high end luxury Mercedes and stuff like that. And the reason why I say high end luxury Mercedes is because Mercedes does make like middle class consumer level vehicles, which are still in the luxury category. But come on, it's just the brand that you're paying for, not so much the vehicle at that point. All right, let me tell you what happened. Okay, so the Kickstarter was most likely going to fail, and I knew that a couple days into it because within the first two, talking about my book leading up to the Kickstarter, I let people know, and I had so many people in chat saying they wanted to donate to the Kickstarter, this, that, and the other, and then when the time finally came, no one fucking did. I think I had one person from YouTube donate. I had two or three strangers that donated. And then last but not least, I had most of it was like extended family and friends. Of my personal friends, I think maybe about 5 people, and then all the rest were like my mom's friends. So I have a total of 19 backers. Technically, the Kickstarter is still live, but looking at it as is, it's not going to succeed. It's like at $842 pledged. That's not. No one's been charged because that's how Kickstarter works. You don't get charged unless it succeeds, and so no one's going to be charged, which means I'm not going to get any of the money. Which means that my vision for the book is not going to happen the way I wanted it to, as outlined in the Kickstarter campaign. So, given said all of that, I knew a couple days going in how it was going to, like, what was going to happen. So, because of that, like, it hit me hard, man. Like, I worked so hard on it. I had friends on Facebook that were liking, like, all my posts about it. They were excited for me. The people were telling me they were going to donate. I had people on YouTube telling me. I actually had people on YouTube, though, that donated through Super Chat, which was nice. Don't get me wrong, it was very nice, but it hurt the campaign because even if it's like $20, even if it was like a dollar, like even like $1, it helps. It would have helped the Kickstarter to have those donations. So the way that Kickstarter does its SEO, it does it by engagement. So if people are coming to the Kickstarter, if they donate even a single dollar, that would have helped it get more reach and more search. I plugged in my Google Analytics. The problem was I was sharing it wherever I could, and I had friends and family that were sharing it as well, but ultimately no one was going to it. No one was clicking on the link. No one was checking it out. And on Kickstarter's page, it was pushed back so incredibly far. And it's really hard because you when you do something like this, you tend to beat yourself up. Like, I'm comparing myself to these other Kickstarters that are, like, there was this one, I don't even know if it's successful or not, that launched around the same time as mine. And the project, like, I went over the project and it was kind of ass. My project was already done. It just, needed help getting published, like self-published, like editing and all that. Like, that's how I had everything set up. The problem with this Kickstarter campaign that I was comparing myself to, it was this feminazi chick that was called the Dragon Bicyclist or whatever. And her campaign, if you actually looked into it, it wasn't even finished. It was like just a concept. And she garnered like I think at last I checked it was like $4,000 or $5,000 from all sorts of givers. And I'm like thinking to myself, and this was a concept, and she's not even writing it. All she was gonna do was reach out to other already established like indie authors or whatever and have them restore for this collection. And she would use the money to pay them like $100 or something like that. And then the rest of the money was going towards self-publishing. And I look at a project like compare it to mine, it's like, I don't know, it's like to each their own. So I couldn't get myself too hummed up on it. One female donates to me. Well, we should be able to sell brick and mortar. Well, okay, so if you want, there's a very long conversation we can go into, but let me finish talking. Because brick and mortar, you don't really make any money. It's all about digital. Digital, you make a lot more money. Brick and mortar, you make like 10%. And then because you make so little, pricing your book is extremely difficult. Because you want to price your book so that you, the author, make money. But at the same time, though, the store that it's in has to make money. And also brick and mortar, for me to do brick and mortar my way, since I'm self-publishing, I would have to put the upfront cost to, like, I'd have to spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to get the physical copies of the books printed, sent out to me. Then I have to, go to mom and pop bookstores or whatever, and it wouldn't really work out. There's always the option, like I said, let me talk about that in a minute. I'm getting lost on a tangent here. So moving forward, so this whole thing was beating me up. I took a few days. I walked away from it. I didn't touch the book because even when I launched the Kickstarter, I was still going back, making a few minor tweaks here and there, quality control stuff, making sure the book was good to go. But I decided, hey, I can't do it, right? It's too much. So what I decided to do then was take a few days off. I needed to decompress. Emotionally, it was really rough for me because, it's I wasn't upset that strangers didn't hit it up because I understood why. I had no advertising budget. I couldn't afford a single penny on ads to get this out there, and my time was also really thin. So doing the market research for ads, it just, wasn't going to amount up to much. So I really heavily relied on the family, friends, and my online community. It's kind of when those two groups, only a sliver, like a minor fraction of those individuals actually, come forward and they're supportive. So, and I didn't want to get it all in my head because, you do that. It's like, well, fuck everybody kind of thing. Like when you think about it, it's like, hey, maybe they just didn't know about it. Like I have people online that I talk to and stuff that after I've told them the Kickstarter failed and they had no fucking idea. And half of them didn't know about the Kickstarter in the first place. And it's like, okay, well, all right, whatever. So, it's kind of because my online presence is pretty small. So it's kind of the nature of the beast. So anyway, so after taking a few days to decompress and get all the negative emotions, the unwarranted resentments towards the world that I grew, just fabricated within my own mind, trying to shift blame one way or another to make myself feel better. Once my pity party was over and I collected myself, I got back to work. I was like, you know what? Fine, I'll do it myself, kind of thing. I Thanos'd it. So I downloaded and got on the trial for a professional editing software called Pro Writing Aid, which is kind of an industry standard for authors when self-editing their novel. So don't want to go too crazy into the software, but let's just say my book is, I went through and edited the book on my own. And from the rough draft, it is pretty night and fucking day. Like, the plot, the story, all that's still the same, but the structure of it, the way that it reads, it's a million times better having gone through and made the edits, okay? But the way I did it was, my time is very precious. Um, I'm really kind of condensed on everything. So what I did is I cut the book in two, and I cut it off right at like a cliffhanger moment for our characters, for our heroes of the story. So chapter 15, it goes from the prologue up to chapter 15 with the diary entry that closes off chapter 15. And so that's Shelter Part 1 is kind of this whole the whole taking place in Chicago thing. Like as well, I mean, I don't want to go into spoilers or anything, but like, yeah, the first half of the book, I ended it off. It's like, yeah, that feels like a very fitting spot to leave it off, like the mid-season finale type deal, and then we come back in a few months to kind of kick it off just right. So that's the plan. Is I needed to kind of, instead of working on 120,000 words, let's work 60,000 words. That's a lot more manageable for me to deal with because I have to edit and I have to format it. And this took like a while. I was working on this for weeks. So I edited the whole book, and then it's like, all right, the book is edited. Sweet. Now how the fuck do I format this thing for paper? Now formatting is a very interesting thing because, yeah, I might have so many pages worth of whatever, but when you format it, that's when you're taking the words from your Word document and you're setting them up as if they are being printed on paper, and that's how it will look physically in the real world. So we're at 212 pages for Shelter Part 1. Part 2 is going to be a little bit, it's going to be a little bit shorter. There's a lot of world building in Part 1, so I will say that pacing, the plot itself progresses at a pretty decent pace. However, because of the added world building, it does feel like it extends itself a little bit more. Part 2, the world building has kind of been established. There's a little bit more elements that kind of put the things that we've heard about the world, and they give more clear-cut examples of like, this is the state of America or whatever. Like, there's a little bit more world building, but nothing too drastic like in Part 1. So Part 2 is actually going to be shorter. The pace of it is so much quicker because at that point, it's kind of like a chase. It's like a sprint from point A to point B, kind of deal. So Part 1 really kind of gets you into the vibe of the characters and what they're representing. It gets you kind of like honed into like, these are the people that we're going to be following for this story, and it puts like a lot of their decisions forward and how they're going to be operating throughout the course of the story. Sorry, I need to focus. All right. Okay. And then Part 2, we kind of see them put themselves to work. Anyway, so I am proud to say that as of right now, if anyone wants, you can pre-order Shelter. I need to set up Streamlabs with the appropriate links and everything, because I don't have it on me. But if you type in Zachary Montgomery Shelter, it should pop up on the first page, somewhere on the first page. I'm still working on the SEO and everything. So the digital version, the Kindle version, is available for pre-order right now. It comes out November 16th. The reason why I chose that date is because it's my youngest son's birthday. The physical copies, yes, there is going to be a physical copy of Part 1 of Shelter. It's my oldest son's birthday. Very important dates. So as of right now, the proofs have been printed and they are shipping out to me. My quality control sample of the book, those are actually on their way right now. Yeah, so those are out on their way. Those should be here by Thursday. I can kind of take a look at them. I am going to try to see if I can change the cover because that's a long story there. I'll talk about that when the time comes. But yeah, so it's kind of basically where we're at right now. If you want a copy of the book, it's up for sale right now. If you pre-order it the day that it comes out. It'll be pushed to your Kindle device. So, yay. And yes, I bought my own book. Even the digital copy you do not get for free as the author. You have to pay for the digital fucking copy of the book. So that's what I did. So it's $2.99 is the pre-order price. Once the book launches, it's going to be going up to $4.99. So from $2.99 to $4.99 for the book. So pre-order prices, you get a couple dollars off. There will be some promotions. I haven't set them in stone, but there are going to be some promotions around Black Friday. If anyone wants to wait for Black Friday, I guess. Yeah, so as far as the marketing goes, I'm so limited. There's not much I can do for marketing until the book's actually released. So we'll kind of see where it goes. You optimize your own searches. Well, yeah. So, all right, hold on. I'll read that when I stop. You optimize your own searches. So it's really weird because the way that it works on Amazon, it's whatever's on your page. That's pretty much it. So that's kind of how it works. Is this, hey, here's my book, here's the description. There's no way to put in tags or anything weird like that. Amazon's pretty strict about how you title whatever your book is. Like, so if I were to put in Shelter, Part 1, Post-Apocalyptic Dystopia, if I put a bunch of keywords in the title, because that's the big seller, is putting keywords in the title. If I were to do that, it would be like a big no-go. Like, you're not supposed to do that. No keywords just if you put out a book, the title of the book is the title. That's it. Don't put Shelter and then all these fucking crazy keywords so you rank up in search. If I were to do that, they would kick me off KDP so quick. All right, Kindle Direct Publishing, for those of you that are uninitiated in the terminal. I'm going to turn green soon. So, yeah, whenever I need to read something, the lights always turn green. All right, maybe I have just a second. Let's see. The way I see it, your first release is all about exposure. I don't know what you're talking about as far as profits go. I think you were talking about the brick and mortar thing. No, the brick and mortar thing you could lose money on. That's the problem. So if you do brick and mortar on your own, you are up for the cost. Like if you do your own distribution and if you just use KDP just for print, you could drastically lose money because you have to pay for every single book up front. And then you have to be the one to go to these stores and stuff. And like Barnes and Noble, for example, if I walked in and tried to talk to Barnes and Noble, they would be like, yeah, fuck off. We're not putting your book in here. We already have our own program. So why the fuck are you like? In this day and age, it's very hard. Now, if I were to do my own website and I would have my own inventory of books, that's different. I could do that. But once again, that's not brick and mortar. So the only realistic brick and mortar thing I could think of would be like a mom and pop bookstore, but there aren't very many of those. So I mean, I think it would be good for like an exposure thing to see if I could reach out. I was thinking of getting some copies of them and donating them to the libraries. Like, hey, I have some copies of my book I just released. I was wondering if I can give it to the library. Ultimately, it's because I did not have money to actually promote it. And that, what you're describing, that's kind of that's part of promotion. Like that would go into like an advertising budget. I've been doing good this past year financially, but my financial situation does not account for this added cost of the whole book situation. That is a totally different beast. You need quite a bit of money for that. to do it right, you know. And so for me, there are two things that are most valuable. Is first is time, and then is money. Because my time with what I do for work is how I make money. And then moving on from that, I need, money to be put in towards my life, and then money put in towards, my projects. I have to choose one or the other. I have to support my family over, building, the advertisement for my projects and stuff. So that's why I do it very minimalist. So I have an advertising budget set up for Amazon to promote my book. So I don't want to go do it because I'd be here all day talking on and on about it. But when the Kindle book is released, I do have a marketing strategy for it. It's just I don't have, it's a lot to go into right this moment. Hello.
What can I get for you today?
Large Diet Coke, and that's it?
108, that's the first one, though. Thank you.
All right, sweet. This is for the missus.
I'll have a large Diet Coke.
Yep.
108. Thank you.
But it sucks that the family life doesn't let you shoulder.
Here you go, sir. Have a great day.
Doesn't let you shoulder the risk you really need to have the best chance of taking off. Well, that's kind of like a money thing. It all comes down to money, and it's like the whole time thing is about using my time to make money, using the time I have to make money. That's what that's all about. The family life stuff. My family is very understanding about what I have to do with my projects. They're very understanding about what I have to do for work. But when it comes down to it, I have to be able to take care of them. And I'm perfectly fine with that, and I'm totally cool with that. It's just nature of the beast. So, if I could take $100 and put it towards advertising, or if I could take that same $100 and put it towards my family, I would do the family before that. So, like, for example, I'm doing some tests right now, but they're very small. It's like $7 increments on Amazon. So every day it's like $7 for just a couple days, just to kind of see which keywords are most appropriate for my book, so that when I do a real marketing campaign, I'm pushing for certain keywords, because I already know that for my book, as far as Amazon search is concerned, the ads are going to a place that is going to, it's going to fit very well. It's like, looking at all these videos that talk about advice and stuff, it's like, yeah, you want to make sure that you have a nice solid budget. You want to make sure that your bids are pretty good, and at the same time, you want to make sure you have at least 1,000 keywords. And it's like, so if I were to take $1,000 and then have my ads pushed out over the course of 1,000 different keywords, I'm stretching the amount. How far can my money go goes very, very thin. So you want to really kind of hone in on which ones work. So you do the tests beforehand. You see which tests are going to be the most clicks. See which testing is going to get you the most clicks, and then you're going to hone in right there on those. So that's kind of the plan for me. Is I'm honing in on I'm going to set it up so I hone in on the appropriate keywords. Yep. Thank you. So, I mean, this is kind of where we're at, I might lose you guys. I'm going home, so just an FYI. Wonder why only 4. It says I have 4 people watching, but only Foibles is talking. That always confuses me. It makes me feel like no one is actually watching, because conversation, but some people just like to work and listen. What in the hell is this dude doing? The fuck? Some dude just reversed all the way through here. Weirdo. No, do your thing. Don't worry about it. Oh, I have to plan it out. I'm not the most organized person in the world. I like being organized, but I am not. It's one of my characters. So it's like weird. It's like certain things I can plan out like to a T, and then other things it's like I'm a clusterfuck, you know. There's a nightbot in hell. So I'm pretty sure my son is still taking his nap. So probably won't be able to make any noise when I get home, which is bittersweet because I'm really freaking hungry right now. Like I'm not gonna lie, I haven't eaten today. So this is day 4 of no fast food. I haven't had any fast food and I haven't had any soda in 4 days, so it feels pretty good. Oh, you guys should see I should probably post a picture of it or something. My desk, the surface, you can write on it, and it just wipes off really easy. It's like this cheapo desk from IKEA. So as I'm like working or whatever and I take notes, I just write it on the desk because I don't have like a piece of paper or anything nearby. I need to pick like a notebook or something. Just like a cheapo, like dollar notebook that I can just like scribble shit in. Because once again, not super organized. I should be, but I'm not. Alright. Hopefully the mail showed up. They changed the dates today, so you know. Oh wait, it's Sunday. But I didn't check the mail yesterday, so I'm gonna go check it real quick. No, I'll just do it. I don't want it. I don't want to. No, I'm just gonna go home. It's Sunday. It doesn't matter. Bow. Let me get in here. Let me park the car. Alright, it took about 40 minutes to get home. Because I was driving before the stream started. Any last words before I bounce? I'll try to stream later. I'm just so busy with everything else. I don't really know all the time. Maybe on Twitch. I like streaming on Twitch, though. Alright, so with that, as always, I'm your so glorious and beloved Mace Valor. If you're not following me on Twitch, follow me on Twitch because, like I said, I most likely will stream on Twitch tonight. So as always, Mace Valor, signing off.